You know, for those who don't know, WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman was just reelected. Now let's talk about the WBC franchise belt. What's up, fight fans? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. It's going down, you know what I'm saying? So, word on the curb, the WBC has came out with another ruling. And that is, they are honoring the request of Top Rank Promotions in their request that if Teofimo Lopez defeats Vasyl Lomachenko, that they would like to make him the WBC franchise champion. And the WBC basically okayed it. This is disgusting, man, to say the least. I had my fingers crossed that whatever happened between Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez after that was over, that hopefully that WBC franchise, mythical, never heard of it, the unicorn of a belt, would just disappear. But it looks like the WBC is going to keep this belt around for quite some time. Man, this is terrible. Teofimo Lopez, if he beats Vasyl Lomachenko, at least when it comes to the WBC, he will basically have no mandatory. Now, when the WBC originally did this, they told us this was to not have the champion worry about enforcing mandatories when there were other bigger fights pretty much to worry about. And I'm saying this in a nutshell. They don't want them to be bogged down and bothered with this when there are more important and historical important fights to be made. Well, in Teofimo Lopez's case, if he defeats Vasyl Lomachenko, he ain't even got a fight scheduled. You don't even know who his next opponent going to be. So how is it that you're just protecting him from a mandatory? Maybe the mandatory is an even better fight. Now, let's just call it what it is. This is protection from DEVIN HANEY. Let's just call it what it is. Because it's funny to me how the IBF, the WBO, they didn't make franchise belts. So let's just say if you are the WBC franchise champion and the IBF called their mandatory, well, they're not going to sit back and play by franchise champion rules. If the WBO, they call their mandatory, they may not want to play by, they want their mandatory enforced. So yeah, the WBC franchise belt, let's keep this in mind, fight fans. It only protects you from the next in line in the WBC. And that person is DEVIN HANEY. Right? So they are literally, if Teofimo Lopez wins, he ain't protected from any of the other sanctioning bodies. He's only protected from DEVIN HANEY, the WBC champion, the real champ. He's only protected from him. This is a protection program. And it's shameful. And it does the sport so much damage because this is known amongst the diehard fans. See, casuals, they outside of this. I understand. But you pissing us off now, boxing. You pissing us off with these stupid rules. We want to see the best fight the best. We don't want to keep seeing these brick walls and obstacles keep coming out of nowhere. It really is. So Top Stank Promotions requested this. Let's get into some quotes. According to Carl Moretti, Vice President of Operations for Top Rank. Where does that come from, right? According to Carl Moretti, and he says, and I quote, should Teofimo win that fight, we ask that he be recognized as the franchise champion. And then it goes on, gives a quote by Mauricio Sulaiman, guy we've been talking a lot about, president of the WBC, and he says, and I quote, Teofimo Lopez is an outstanding fighter. He says that the WBC position of implementing the franchise designation is specifically for the outstanding champions such as Vasyl Lomachenko. if Teofimo Lopez beats Vasyl Lomachenko, he has all the merits to be recognized as the franchise champion. We are very proud that this fight is taking place because it is the very best fight that can happen, end quote. Wow. So basically what Mauricio Sulaiman just said is that particular supposed trinket of a belt, that's supposed to recognize outstanding champions. You know, that's the new definition for it now. You know, I just told y'all originally, they told us this is to protect the champion from having to worry about mandatories when he can go off with unifications and bigger fights like that. That was the original excuse. Now it's, oh, okay, outstanding champions such as Vasyl Lomachenko. So their definition of an outstanding champion must be a champion that has more than one belt, right? Is that the qualifying criteria to become a franchise champion? Because what makes Teofimo Lopez this outstanding champion that he gets this elevated to this non-mandatory status? I mean, what is he, I mean, was it, I don't understand it. This is top stank running protection programs, fight fans, and I'm trying not to go there. But I'm going to tell you, man, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, and this is a shame. I'm going to tell you straight like this. Devin Haney, you need to be on the phone with Gary Russell Jr. Out of your whole atmosphere right now, bro, the only one that's willing to fight you and that's willing to actually engage and talk to you back and forth, negotiations, let's make it happen, y'all all know the same people, is Gary Russell Jr. Anybody else ain't making sense right now. You go ahead and take your Gamboa fight. If you can get Javier Fortuna, that'll be good. But at the end of the day, beyond that, if you already see them playing the keep away game from you now, and I've just recently talked about this, I believe that Gervonta Tank Davis, if he gets beyond Leo Santa Cruz, well, he's going towards Ryan Garcia. Where does that leave you, Devin? You need to be calling Gary Russell Jr. You know what I mean? Taking that. That is the best thing on your plate right now. And I think if Gary Russell Jr. says he'll take it, he'll take it. You need to be on the phone with Eddie Hearn and trying to get a counter offer to send back to Gary Russell Jr. That's what needs to be happening. Eddie ain't did no favors for you other than put you on undercards with YouTubers and stuff. You want that big fight? Tell Eddie to send Gary a bag. Get him in the ring. This needs to be done for your legacy. It makes no sense for the WBC champion with the mandatory. He can't get no real smoke. This is a shame, Joe. And it really, man, I'm telling you, man, boxing, boy, if I didn't love you so much, I'd be out the door. Because it's just getting tiring. New belts, new rules, you know what I mean? You don't know who the real champ is like that no more. It's just, boxing is just turning into this money-starving sport that is, I don't know, man. It ain't faithful to nobody. It ain't loyal to nobody. Even the fans. This is a joke. This is a joke. And they try to have fans run around and that's why I say fighters want to call Devin Haney the email champion, right? They want to say stuff like that to Devin, but want to get in the ring with him. Want to call him the email champion. Don't want to get in the ring with him. And here we are. And this is why I always say about duck fighters. And this is why I don't like jumping on duck fighters. Because it ain't their fault. It ain't their fault that they so good that they can't get top-notch opposition in the ring. Scared to lose everything. It ain't their fault. It ain't Gary Russell Jr.'s fault. It ain't Devin Haney's fault. It ain't Terrence Bud Crawford's fault. It ain't Dimitri Bivol's fault. But then I'll have people, oh, they only fight once a year. They only fight. They are being ducked. It's sad. It's really sad. So here you have it, fight fans. We'll see. Yeah, I would love to see Teofimo Lopez stand up and say, you know what? Keep your trinket. I don't want it. That'll be some. If you want to win some fans, Teofimo, you really want to win some fans, homeboy, and you really want the boxing fans to stud up with you, man, and back you up 100, this is what you need to do. Do what Deontay Wilder did when they try to put that WBC franchise in his lap. And he said, keep it. Tell him to keep it, Teofimo. And we'll respect you 1,000 times more. Real talk. We'll see. To the next video, man. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Really disgusted by this right here, man. Salute to everybody over in Mainman Mademan's Boxing Forum on Facebook, man. Salute to the whole fam, dog. We will be doing We Talking Boxing really soon, really soon. It's time for me to come back. And I can't wait to do it, man, because boxing right now, man, The WBC, I'm at a loss for words. And let me just say, Mauricio Suleiman, he was just reelected, man. I don't know if y'all heard. He just had this election, and he's just been reelected as the WBC president. So his grips on power is going to last at least for the next 4 years. And ain't nobody knocking him off. To the next video.